Hey guys, welcome back to New England Fire Cooking. I'm Aaron Higgins, and today what we're talking is beef cheek. And true to my word, with the Super Bowl coming up, I'm going to keep going with these football recipes and be really, really awesome. We're going to make jalapeno poppers and taquitos out of them. And I got these from Westerly Packing. Okay, they come in a vacuum sealed bag, and depending on where you get these and what they've done to them, they can come with a good amount of fat and connective tissue on their silver skin and that sort of thing. If you do have a ton of fat, a real thick layer of it, and a lot of connective tissue and stuff like that, take the time and a good sharp knife and knock all that off there. You don't need to take all of it off, I should say. You do want to leave some on there because that's going to render down and give us a really, really, really good flavor. Okay, but you do want to clean them up a little bit. And these are going to take several hours to cook. This is a really used muscle in the cow, and it's going to take a while to break these down and make them really, really, really tender. And they'll just fall apart. They'll melt right in your mouth. So what we want to do, now that I've knocked all the excess fat and sinew off of these, is we want to take these and get them laid out here a little bit. And what we want to do is we want to get a nice coating of seasoning on them. And so because we're making jalapeno peppers and taquitos, I really want a nice bold Mexican flavor. And this Husky chili con carne rub, made by Frag Out, and this is veteran owned and operated. Give this a shot, and I highly recommend it. What we're gonna do with this chili con carne rub is we're gonna come right across and we're gonna give it a pretty solid dose. Get all your edges and whatnot. And these have some nooks and crannies and crevasses on them. You wanna make sure you season all in there. Come across the backside. You got some good marbling in these too. These are going to taste really, really good. Just get all your crevasses. Okay, after you get these seasoned, I'm just gonna let them hang right out on the board and let this rub start doing some work to this meat here. In the meantime, I'm gonna go fire up the Traeger. We're gonna be running at 275 today. I personally like to use pecan pellets, or even if I was doing this on my offset, I would use pecan wood. It gives a really, really, really nice flavor to beef, but you can use whatever wood you'd like. Let's go get it fired up. Once it's up to temp, we'll get this on the pit and we'll start letting it roll. Stick around. Okay guys, the Traeger's up to temperature. I got them on this cooling rack here. It makes them a little bit easier to move around back and forth from the grill. What we're gonna do is you just wanna set them right in the very center. Get this closed. We're gonna let it roll for a couple hours and we'll come back and give it a check. Stick around. Okay guys, it's been nearly 2 hours and these beef cheeks are starting to look really, really good. Got a nice dark color to them, and that's about as far as I want to take them. Now we got to get these in a pan with a braising liquid and get them tender. Okay guys, so now that we're looking pretty good here, we're going to pull these right off. We're going to get these really good. We're going to get them right in this pan. Now all I have here is a little bit of beef broth. And we want to get this right in here. And this is going to serve as a braising liquid. It's going to help us break these beef cheeks down and get them really, really tender. And you can use whatever you like. You can use beef broth, you can use a little red wine. You could throw like a nice dark beer in there or something like that. But today, this is just what I happen to have in the fridge, so that's what we're going to use. I'm going to get these guys wrapped. Throw these back on. Get it closed. We'll let it roll for another hour and a half. Start checking them then. If they temp out perfect, then we're done. If not, we can let them go a little longer. Okay guys, so these just came off the pit. Ran down and checked them. And these are looking really, really good. And what I have here is I have my handy new meat probe. This is made by ThermaPro. Comes right on. The display will flip-flop, depending on how you hold it. Gives us a reading in about 3 seconds. And what I'm gonna do here is just go for a deep part of the meat.
And that's going in like butter, which is really good. And those are right around 208, and that's perfect. And it's just going in like, you can, when it goes through like butter with zero resistance at all, you know you're good.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep these covered for a little while, and I'm just gonna let them rest. I want them to just chill out a little bit and stop cooking. And in the meantime, I'm gonna show you guys how to stuff these jalapeno peppers that I've already prepped here with some cream cheese. Okay guys, so I have these jalapeno peppers here, and what I did was I sliced them right down the middle the long way, and then I scooped the guts of them out. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this brick of cream cheese here, and I'm just gonna make some slices, and I'm just gonna do that. Okay, and it's really important to use the brick of cream cheese instead of the whipped or the real fluffy stuff. You don't want that, because what's gonna happen if you use that is that's all gonna just liquefy and run right out of your jalapeno pepper. This brick cream cheese tends to stand up or just hold up better under heat. It's gonna retain its shape, and it's gonna be perfect to glue our beef cheek down on top of this, and then we'll wrap them in some bacon.
So this is exactly what you want, you guys. No real rhyme or reason to this. Just stuff some cream cheese in there.
Okay guys, so we let these beef cheeks rest while we prepped our jalapeno peppers, and now I'm gonna start cutting into these, just seeing what we're dealing with here.
Oh, and that looks really good, guys. Will you look at that? Look at that right there. That is some really good beef cheek. This is gonna taste awesome. Smells incredible. This is gonna make for some great jalapeno poppers and some great taquitos. I would say this smells better than brisket, if you can believe that. It's almost like cutting up brisket burnt ends, what it reminds me of. This is really tender.
Of course, before I take the risk of putting this on a taquito or a jalapeno pepper, gotta give this a shot. That melts in your mouth. There's almost no chewing to that at all. That's incredible. This is really, really good beef cheek. Oh yeah. This is a really good time right here. This is gonna be beautiful. Hey, I'm gonna bang out the rest of these once I get a nice pile of beef. I'm gonna show you how to assemble these jalapeno poppers. I'm gonna show you how to make these taquitos. Stick around. Okay guys, so here we are. We got a beautiful pile of sliced up beef cheek. It's actually pulling apart pretty good. And then we have our jalapeno peppers stuffed with cream cheese. And then I took a package of bacon and I just cut the bacon slices right in half. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use these to wrap these. And I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take some beef cheek, and you gotta be selective about how you do it. But you want something that's gonna look kind of like this. And this raw bacon will stretch pretty well. And I tend to go with thinner bacon so it cooks a little bit quicker and is a little bit crispier. And all I'm gonna do is just come up and around. I'm gonna set that bad boy right back down. And then I'm just gonna move right on to the next one. A little bit of beef cheek. Just like that. Pin that right there. Bring this bacon right up and around. Right back on the rack. And that's essentially what you want to do to every single one of these things here. And then once we have a nice full rack of jalapeno poppers ready to go, it's going to go right back on the Traeger until that bacon's nice and crispy, and it's going to taste amazing. Stick around. Okay guys, for these taquitos, what I got here is I got a big cast iron skillet, and I'm just going to get some butter in there and move it around. It's already starting to sizzle and get nice and hot. So once you get a nice coating of butter at the bottom of your pan, what you want to do is you want to come over here to your tortillas, and these are just regular like 8-inch flour tortillas. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer some of this beef cheek right in the very bottom. You can make these as big as you want, really.
But once you get something like that, what you want to do next is you want to come in, and this is how I make them. You can make them however you want. You got a lot of wiggle room in these. But I'm coming in with some chunky, like restaurant style chipotle salsa. Not too hot. Get a little bit of that in there. And then I got some, just some Walmart brand taco blend cheese. And I'm just gonna come right over the top of this. Then afterwards, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just give it a roll and kind of pull it all together. And you wanna tighten that roll right up. And then what you wanna do is you wanna take the seam and go seam down on your skillet. Okay, and that'll kind of glue this thing together and hold the thing together. We'll come back in here, I'm gonna make another one. Some more beef cheek. Some salsa. And some cheese. Roll it right up. Keep it tight. Lay it seam down right on the pan. With some beef cheek. Salsa. And some cheese. Give it a roll. Come back up and over. Right down in the pan. You want to let these roll for a little while until you get a nice golden brown color on the tortilla on the other side. And once you're there, flip them over, give them the same treatment. We're running this right over medium heat on our stovetop. They're going to taste really, really good. Stick around. Okay guys, so I pan grilled up a whole plate full of taquitos here. Our jalapeno poppers are still down on the pit, but they're getting close. But while we're waiting for those, I'm starving and the football game has started. And once again, like I said, I'm bringing you guys football food, and I can't wait to get into one of these. But before I do, let's give a quick run through of what we did here. We made a big pile of beef cheek, and I'm gonna go through that later on in the video. This is particular to the taquitos here. So we had our big pile of beef cheek after we pulled it all apart and sliced it all up, and what I did was I layered some onto a tortilla, about an 8-inch tortilla. And then after that, I came over with some chipotle chunky salsa and some shredded cheese that was a taco blend. Then after that, just rolled it all up, got some butter in a cast iron skillet, and grilled both sides until you had a nice little wrap. And now this is what I'm looking at, and I can't wait to get in on this. This is gonna be really good. Oh man alive. Oh. This is absolutely incredible. It's cheesy, it's beefy, it's tender. You got a lot of really good flavor coming from the salsa. Tons of flavor coming from that frag out chili con carne rub. This is really, really good, guys. A lot of smoke flavor too. That right there is great. Tender beef cheek, the salsa and melted cheese, crunchy tortilla wrap. You can't go wrong. I'm gonna polish this off and then I'm gonna check on those jalapeno poppers again, because that is gonna be the star of the show, I'm telling you. These are good, those will be better. Stick around. Okay guys, this is it. We put these jalapeno poppers right on the Traeger. We let it run right at 275 for about 40 to 50 minutes. I would say about 45 minutes. Basically what you want to do is you want to throw them on and you want to take them off when the bacon's cooked. You don't want to pull them off when the bacon's still rubbery or stretchy or semi-raw or whatever. But you want to be careful. You don't want to fry it. You don't want to blacken your bacon either. So I just went until it was kind of like an al dente. You know, you got some crispy edges here and that sort of thing. And these are smelling really, really good. Before I dive right into this, let's do a quick run through of what we did. I got some beef cheek from Westerly Packing, and I trimmed all the excess fat and sinew and connective tissue off, and then I seasoned it with a frag out chili con carne rub. And then I threw it on this rack right here. This is the same rack I used earlier. And I set it right on the Traeger at 275. And I let that run for about 2 hours. And then I pulled it off, threw them in a pan. We added some beef stock, we wrapped it up, and we got back on the Traeger until it temped out.
at about 206. 206 is what you want. We sliced it all up, we got a nice big pile of it, and then we made the taquitos, and I already went through that part of the video, and then we made these jalapeno poppers. We sliced the pepper the long way, scooped the guts out, got some of the brick slab cream cheese in there, because as you can see, it holds up really, really well. It stood up really, really well to the smoke and the heat. It didn't run right out. You want to use the brick cream cheese. You don't want to use the whipped or the real fluffy type of cream cheese, because that's just going to liquefy and run right out of your popper. So after we got the cream cheese and the pepper, all we did was we took some of the beef cheek, sliced up beef cheek, and we just used the cheese to kind of glue it to the popper itself, and then we wrapped it in a slice of bacon, and now here we are. So I just want to say, you can do this on just about any grill as long as you can set it up for indirect heat. I've been neglecting to mention this in other videos before. A lot of this stuff you can either do in your oven if you don't have a grill at all, or if you have something like a charcoal kettle, you can definitely do it. You just got to make sure you set it up for 2-zone heating. And I'm going to do a video about that soon just to show you what I'm talking about. But as long as you can set up for indirect heat and really regulate your grill temperatures, you'll be just fine. So without further ado, I'm going to get this one right here, right in the middle. This looks like a solid one. Oh, that looks just awesome. That looks really awesome. All right, there we go. Yeah. Oh. That's the best jalapeno popper you're ever gonna have. This is a perfect game day food, race day, any day. I could eat this every day. But if you did eat this every day, you'd have some really severe health problems. Smoke flavor through the roof. I mean, through the roof. The cheese picks it up, the pepper picks it up, the bacon definitely picks it up. This is a winner. Huge winner. You got chili con carne, seasoned beef cheek. It's just melting in your mouth. It is absolutely perfect. Billy, get over here. Try one of these.
Sure.
Tell me what you think of this. They hear me say it's awesome all the time. Let someone else say how awesome it is. What do you make of that?
Superb.
Yeah, guys, listen. Keep in mind, this took a little bit of time. Beef cheek takes about 4 to 5 hours to really do its thing. So if you're gonna do this for the Super Bowl, keep in mind that you can cook the beef cheek and you can let it cool and you can assemble these and you can keep them right in the fridge. These will hold up just fine in the fridge. And then once they're all assembled, all you gotta do, you can pop them right in your oven, or if you had a smoker at your house and you're hosting a party or whatever, bringing them wherever you gotta go. As long as you can pop them in the oven between 275 and 300, this is perfect. This is perfect. You really can't go wrong. But before I really start, two of us are really going to start demolishing these here soon. Now that the game's on, what we want to say is, hey, listen. If you like this and you really like seeing this type of stuff, give our channel a subscribe. If there's anything you want to see us try out, let us know. Leave us your feedback in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. I'm telling you, easy as pie, really, really delicious. And it's really, really cheap. Trust me, I'm really not into this for a whole lot of money. I think all together, I'm in this for about, $30. It's really not all that bad. That's between the taquitos and these. You can't go wrong, and I'm absolutely gonna love this. I'm gonna hand one of these to the camera woman because I think she wants to try them. She's looking at me with a big grin on her face. Take this little crispy one right here. I'm blacking them. Guys, you're everybody's best friend when you show up with these. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you really like this one. We hope you give this a try. This is really, really awesome. We'll see you next time.